is widespread, so we have the short term avoid this supply disruption. We have also plenty of reserves, so in the long term we have that thing secure. We have the technology yet to be improved. So now we answered the question that what is a secure energy system, we shall now focus in if CCS is secure. In theory, yes, because naturally there is already some accumulation of CO2 and methane in nature, which has lasted for geological times, thousands of years, millions of years, being the main barrier or warranty for leakage or against leakage, the cap rock. But still there is some challenges to be addressed. Naturally there is fractures in the cap rock and faults, but they are pretty much addressed at the moment of studying the reservoir geologically. And the main challenge to be solved is wells, both because we have kind of plenty of experience in oil industry, we could address those things. But seismicity, we have to take care when injecting the CO2, not to be too much pressure, because we could either crack the cap rock or reactivate some faults, especially in this tensive system faults. Transport, there is the main risk here is the third people risk, and there are other risks between the source point and injection point, but mainly is the breakup of the pipelines. About legal regulation is the most delicate item, because we have to establish a legal framework for doing the technical things in injection, monitoring and establishing all the technical standards, and especially to establish the legal framework to see who is going to be responsible in case of a leakage, especially in the long term for monitoring. We previously heard from somebody that we can't say to a company to last 1,000 years, and there is no company that's going to last 1,000 years. But yes, it's that. It's in order to see who is going to be responsible or who is going to address it in case of a trouble of leakage. The final risk will be a knowledge gap, because we don't have that much experience in CO2 injection. So we can assess some troubles that I think will come out in the future with experience in pilot plants. So that risk associated with decrease in time in the future when we gain experience in pilot plants. As a conclusion, CCS, yes, can be and must be part of an integrated and sustainable and secure energy system. But as always, challenges remain, as well as there are opportunities. So it has to be presentation. If there is any question, something.
Thank you for your presentation. You say that CCS is economical. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Economically secure. The thing is because, no, well, economical was, where is it? Here, is this one. Here's the slide. Or the other one.
No. Previous economical.
Economical stable. This one. Sustainable.
Okay, just answer.
Well, the thing is, because coal is very cheap, we know that with CCS we have to burn an extra amount of coal, but because it's very cheap, we can cover pretty much the coal for doing for generating the electrical thing, and to cover the extra for the CCS. I don't know if it's...
I was speaking about the second speaker, who showed
okay.
a slide with economical being an advantage, a key advantage of CCS.
Sorry, we can't hear your question back here.
Yeah, sorry. Well, just the second speaker told about the economical aspect of CCS as a key advantage.
Well, we consider that in order to qualify, or in order to say that if a project is sustainable, which is part of our question, must fit the concept of economic. So we consider that the CCS is sustainable, or it is criteria of economic, because although it adds some extra cost to the generation of power, in total, at the end, is not expensive, taking in consideration the environmental aspects. Even like Christian mentioned regarding to the use of local natural resources such as the coal, that is an advantage for a country which has the abundance of that natural resource in comparison to it imported from other countries which sometimes are politically unstable.
You began your presentation with a whole bunch of wedges and saying that CCS is only one solution. Yet later on you dive into the coal resource as key. Earlier we heard another group mention that fossil fuel producers should be made to incorporate the true costs of their activities. How can you reconcile a multifaceted solution to climate change and the fact that fossil fuels have environmental externalities that are not all yet incorporated in the final price you paid? Because the argument could be made that once you include all those externalities, coal is not so cheap.
I'm not sure about the pricing. This is a lot more than 20-hour work. Can you repeat your question? Because I don't, and I'm not exactly sure what.
I'm doing the coal research, specifically on oxy-fuel combustion. I think coal is still cheap for at least 50 years. If you think about it, you build a new coal-fired power plant with CCS, maybe the cost is still equal to a nuclear. Yeah. And if you travel to Wyoming of USA, near the border, Wyoming and Utah, you can see those fancy wind dynamos. But because of the high maintenance fee, they have to shut down half of them. And if you talk about solar energy, I know the board is silicon chloride. I mean, the cost is dropping very quickly, but nobody knows whether it's going to be economical in the future. And plus, almost everybody gets some coal in the world. And how to fire coal, how to generate electricity by using, coal. This technology is mature, so you always need to consider about it.
Thank you for your presentation. Integrated energy system includes the electricity generation side. Did you give any thought to how CCS would fit into an electricity generation system which has to supply electricity at different demands that varies by day, by hour, and by season?
Well, we are not sure yet of how the capture system, for example, could cope with the varying production of a power plant, coal-fired power plant. These are issues that remain to be solved, I think. If you have power absorption towers, we switch off one to stay within the limits of the packing, for example. I don't know. It remains to be addressed.
There might be capture part, but we don't know whether or not the different storage sites would be able to take dynamic injection as well. Like, it would depend on the grade of salting maybe. If you're able to start fines migration and proper pores and destroying your permeability in the reservoir. So, no, that's really, I think there'll come a time when you have your power plants and your pilot plants going on.
And I think in another presentation we saw the idea of buffers for this event. So the storage remains constant or has a constant pressure, and we use buffers. Okay.